Top five, top five, top five.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know who are the best franchise cornerstones in the NBA, then you know you came to the right place. Welcome to the Countdown, the #1 sports ranking show. And like the title says, we got you with the top 5 franchise cornerstones under 25 in the NBA.
Young players that can turn franchise into championship caliber teams. That's exactly what you want. That's usually built through the draft. And we got players that are under 25 that can potentially turn bottom dweller franchises into championship caliber teams. So before we get into that, make sure you smash that like and double tap that subscribe, because we're coming back every single week with some fire ass content.
Absolutely. So getting right into it, we're talking about a guy who's already turned a shitty franchise into a championship caliber team in Ja Morant, taking the Memphis Grizzlies to that Western Conference Finals, taking them to the playoffs year in and year out already in his young career. Obviously, he has some off-field dilemma and drama that goes on with him that's caused him to miss time on the court. So it's become that level of seriousness where we have to, take that into account, and that's why maybe he's not higher on this list. But make no mistake about it, okay? Ja Morant's one of the most talented basketball players we have in the game, one of the most skilled basketball players in the game. He's a great finisher at the rim, dunks on people left and right. He can shoot, he can pass, he can play solid defense. He's a great player who you'd want to start your franchise around. So no matter what's going on outside the court, you know this guy's going to come to play, and you know he's going to take his team to the next level.
Yeah, Ja Morant is electric on the court, and he's electric off the court. I mean, the guy keeps everybody entertained in every single way possible. Right. And a lot of people might be saying, we're talking about cornerstones. You want somebody that's safe, somebody that's reliable. At the end of the day, Ja is that. He doesn't get hurt very often, and he can do everything on the court that you need from a player that can energize a franchise. So we decided to still put him on this list at number 5, because at the end of the day, he does things that nobody else on this list can possibly do, or nobody that's not on this can possibly do, and that's just fly through the air, finish, shoot, has the ability to be a very good defender, and really has the ability to ride a team up and get them going. As long as he can clear up that off-the-field stuff, he's still a great locker room guy, and he's still a great guy to have around the franchise. We thought he was more than willing to deserve to be on this list still.
Yeah, before all his off-the-court issues, we actually did a top 5 most exciting players in the NBA, and Ja Morant was up there with the best of them because he's such a great player to watch. He's a showstopper. He's someone who you go buy a ticket to go see, and that's exactly what a franchise cornerstone is. So he's at number 5. But getting into number 4, we got someone who's diamond with the best of them, passing it left and right. We're talking about Tyrese Haliburton, B.
Tyrese Haliburton, is very rare to see a player of his caliber get traded so early in his career. But we did see him get shipped from Sacramento to Indiana, and the Pacers couldn't be more thrilled that trade has ever happened. We're talking about the best passer in the NBA. He's a little bit unconventional. He's skinny. His shot, he barely gets off the ground, but he's still wet as fuck from 3. He still scores from any level with an impeccable floater. Like I already said, he's one of the best passers in the league behind the back, very creative with it, and he's just one of those guys that franchises love. He's one of those team players, one of those guys that you can just see when he speaks in the media, when he's just around his teammates. Like, he just has that even-keeled spirit, heart, love about the game to him that you would love to build a franchise around. A very unselfish guy, and the fact that he has embraced Indianapolis, he embraced Sacramento, 2 franchises that have not seen a lot of success at all as of recent, and he just enjoys being there and playing ball. That's what you want to see from teams that have struggled for a while.
Yeah, no, a lot of great points. And I mean, the first thing that sticks out to me when it comes to Tyrese Haliburton is just how great of a facilitator he is, especially on a team like the Pacers, which might have arguably one of the worst supporting casts around Tyrese Haliburton, but he's still getting 12 assists a game. He's still getting his teammates involved. He's still helping them get going, put the ball in the basket. He just helps an overall team get better, and that's exactly what you're looking for when you want to start a franchise with someone who's young. Tyrese Haliburton is the perfect player who you can put on pretty much any team, and he's going to fit in seamlessly. He's going to make his teammates better. He's going to still score at a high level for himself as well, and just be a great focal point for an offense, for a team to compete and help those teams win games as well.
Yeah, and the thing that you see from point guards that are usually great passers, you usually see a dominant big or a lob-catching big like the Clint Capellas of the world. He's had Miles Turner for a majority of his career. Miles Turner's a corner, sit in the corner type of guy, hit a couple 18-footers, all of that. So he's really just distributing the ball to all his teammates and really getting everybody involved, which keeps the team morale high, just keeps everybody happy. That's what you want.
Well, now he's got a great dunker in Obi Toppin.
He sure does.
Works out.
Good slasher.
But getting into number 3, we're talking about the Ant-Man, A1, Anthony Edwards in Minnesota, a team that already has a great young franchise cornerstone in Karl Anthony Towns, but nowadays it's the Ant Show in Minneapolis taking over. He's already getting close to 30 points a game. He's doing his thing. He's such a great scorer at all 3 levels too, Brandon. You'll see this guy pull up in dudes' faces. The confidence is next level with this guy, and that's exactly what you want to see from a franchise cornerstone. Is you're not only have to be the best player on the court, but you got to be the leader of the team. You got to show by example, and you got to do things that other players aren't asked to do, and Anthony Edwards has seemed to take that task head on. And a big part of him coming into the league was, does he really care about basketball? He made a comment that he doesn't watch basketball, he doesn't like playing basketball in his free time, and everything since he's been drafted has been the complete contrary. You've seen this guy show emotion when he loses. You've seen him celebrate like the best of him when he wins, and cares so much about the game, cares about his teammates, cares about his legacy and his greatness. And that's exactly what you want to see from a franchise cornerstone, and why he's top 3 on this list. Yeah,
Rob, you hit it right on the head. You see a lot of players that are built like this throughout the legacy of basketball. You see the Kobe Bryants, you see the Michael Jordans. They have a similar build to Anthony. And the thing about him is he has all the physical traits. He can jump out the gym. These are all reasons why he was the #1 pick in the draft. But like you said, Rob, his dedication to greatness, he wants to be great. And the emotion that he shows just energizes you so much and wants you to believe in him. And the way that his uptick in points just keeps going and going and going. Right. 3-level score. He'll dunk on you. He'll hit a step back 3. He'll embarrass you and hit a turnaround jumper from the mid-range. He really has the ability to do it all and has the ability to be the best shooting guard in the league. So it would just be great to see him reach that next echelon of players, and we think he can really do that in the very near future in Minnesota.
Yeah, we're seeing him develop very quickly here, but a guy who developed instantly was Luka Doncic at number 2, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, Luka obviously had a lot of pro experience when he came across or came from overseas, and he showed that from immediately, like the minute that he walked into the league, that he has his own way, his own pace of just pure dominance. You've seen players like Manu Ginobili move like that. You've seen players like James Harden move like that. They just have this different pace. They know how to get to their spots, and they're just dominant. And the thing about him is he is a ridiculous passer, a ridiculous rebounder, a gifted scorer from every single level of the court. Yep. Obviously, his defense is not his best trait, but I mean, if you want to roll the ball out and ask somebody to do anything, it's hard to pick a player other than Luka Doncic to be able to do that. And the fact that he's done that since the day he's walked in the league to now where he's 24 years old, I can expect him doing this for the next 10 years of his career. So.
Yeah, it's hard to think about anyone who's had a better start to their career statistically or like production-wise. He's just giving everything to the Dallas Mavericks, scoring the basketball, passing, rebounding. Such a rare triple threat in that regard. And he's someone who's carried his team to the playoffs, to the Western Conference Finals. We're seeing him, unlike James Harden, who he had a lot of comparisons to offensively because they're the same caliber of player. They have a high usage rate. They play very similarly. But unlike Harden, Luka excels in the playoffs. He even plays better than he does in the regular season. True. And that's a huge difference from Harden, who hasn't won a ring because of his playoff or lack of playoff success. And now that Luka has a quality sidekick in Kyrie, who also has a lot of playoff experience, also a clutch player, it'll be interesting to see if they're able to go out, surprise some people, and go win a championship, because the talent, the potential is there, and he's just really got to put it together.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Mavs, they're just missing that one piece. Yeah. But if they could put it all together, they have some really good role players, the Josh Greens of the world, Sitzmans and Tim Hardaway. Hopefully that Luka can take them over the next level, but he might need a little bit more help from the GM.
Right, so Luka Doncic, great franchise cornerstone, but we couldn't put him at number 1, Brandon, because at number 1, we got a 7'4" unicorn, basically, in Victor Wembanyama. Both of the top 2 foreign-born players, showing the continued evolution of foreigners in the NBA, taking over the global landscape, taking over what used to be an American game. And Victor Wembanyama, the latest international star to do it. And he's instantly going to be challenging Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid for those elite centers at this level. We're already seeing it with the blocks, with that kind of wingspan. I mean, it's ridiculous what he's capable of as soon as he comes into the league, and he's only going to get better offensively, Brandon. This is a guy who can dribble, who can shoot, who can move. You're not supposed to do those things at 7'4". It's something we've never seen before. And so a lot of people consider him an alien. They consider him all these different things. We consider him the #1 franchise cornerstone in the NBA.
I mean, if Kristaps Porzingis is a unicorn, I don't know what the fuck Victor Wembanyama can possibly be.
Right.
He's taller than him. He can shoot just as good as he can. He can definitely dribble better than him and move better than him.
Definitely.
And he has the potential to be a better defender than him. And Kristaps is one of the best defenders in the league.
Right.
So, I mean, just the sky is the limit for him. I'm really surprised. Like, I've seen it on tape, but I was surprised at how well he moves, how he gets in and out of his handles and
so
step
fluid.
backs. And it's just actually absurd. So for you to be able to build around a 19-year-old, 7'5", 7'7", 8'5" wingspan, whatever he is, the metrics are through the roof throughout the board. And he also has that pro experience just like Luka has from being overseas. And it's just, there's not enough that you can say about Victor Wembanyama, because he has the ability to take the Spurs back through another dynasty, and they probably don't even have to have the same Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili next to him for him to still win, multiple ships.
Yeah, I mean, the San Antonio Spurs won that first overall pick in the lottery and got Victor Wembanyama. But even if they got the first overall pick in a league-wide NBA draft where you could take any single player to start a franchise with, you could argue Giannis, you could argue Jokic, you could argue Luka. But I think Victor Wembanyama would be the choice, and that's exactly what this list is about, is who would be those top 5 choices under the age of 25. So that is the key part as to why Giannis and Jokic weren't on this list. But Wembanyama, Luka, all these guys, these are the best franchise cornerstones in the NBA who you would want to start a franchise with.
Make sure y'all hit that comments, flood them joints with y'all's top 5 players that you think deserve to make this list. There's players like LaMelo Ball that didn't make this list. He's clearly under 25 and a big-time franchise cornerstone. So while y'all in that comments, make sure you hit that like and tap that subscribe, and we'll catch y'all next time.
See you all next time.
Peace.